I'm Ryan from Monster Logo Studios, and this is the Electron Digitakt, a sample-based groove box released in 2017 that features 8 audio tracks and 8 MIDI tracks with 1 GB of internal sample storage. Limited to 16-bit mono audio files and 64 megabytes of sample storage per project, the Digitakt is definitely showing its age in what is now November of 2022. So why did I buy it? Let me explain. It's hard to avoid videos on YouTube that don't feature an Electron box of some kind. As I started to get more familiar with the product line, I had 2 thoughts. What is this Electron workflow everyone keeps talking about? And I really want one of these boxes. I just need to figure out which one. All of this occurred right around the time Electron released their Big Song Mode update, which immediately narrowed down my choices to either the Digitone, Digitakt, or Syntakt. The Digitone, while polyphonic, is limited to only 4 tracks. I think it's a great complementary device, but not ideal as a standalone groove box. The Syntakt looks interesting, and is quickly moving up my list, but the lack of sample support for a product in this price range is a bit of a turnoff. The Digitakt seemed to be the right middle ground solution for a first Electron device. It has sample support, albeit with the aforementioned technical limits, but also has 8 dedicated audio tracks. And with 1 envelope and 2 LFOs per track, it can serve as a basic synthesizer through the use of single-cycle waveforms. Now, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know there's a lot of overlapping capability with a few other devices I already own. So even though I bought a used Digitakt for a pretty good price, was it a complete waste of money? Maybe, but I don't think so, and here's why. I've been composing and recording for over 25 years now. I was using Logic Pro when it was still available on PC. That means I've seen the technology advance and expand dramatically and in parallel to my own development as a songwriter and producer, and I've learned that the technology alone is not a great source of inspiration for me. There are some great tools out there for implementation and execution, and I certainly have my favorites, but that alone is not enough to draw me to a new hardware or software product. More and more, I'm learning to let my ears be my guide, and there are 2 specific sirens I've been chasing: moods and moments. As I've taken a step back and reevaluated my own body of work, I'm realizing the songs I'm most proud of hit high points in one or both of those 2 areas. and I'm adjusting my approach to composing and producing with an emphasis toward that end. What exactly do I mean? Well, as with most of you, my relationship with music has evolved over time. When I first started playing in bands and writing songs, primarily on guitar, I was largely trying to mimic my way to something that was enjoyable. There was very little original thought going into the arrangements, but eventually I started to develop my own style, resulting in songs that were more uniquely voiced. I had developed a sound, and over time released several albums while continuing to evolve and push my own creative boundaries. As I'm now venturing into more electronic music production and figuring out how to adapt from wood and strings to boxes and buttons, I'm working through how to apply everything I've learned over the past couple of decades to this new medium. What I've settled on is this concept of moods and moments. Most of the songs I connect with have this incredible ability to temporarily remove me from the present reality and transport me to a different place entirely. I can't tell if it's the intended result because I'm not the author, but it draws me into certain pieces of music in a way that others don't. It may be some form of synesthesia, or maybe it works this way for everyone, but this is what I mean by mood. A song or certain phrases within it that have the ability to take control of the listener's experience. Moments are the points of interest that help tie these moods together. A crescendo or a bit of ear candy placed at just the right moment can help maintain the listener's interest and avoid fatigue. We've all heard those songs that start out great but never really go anywhere, or they evolve so slowly it feels like there's never a payoff. The conflict and resolution or yin and yang of a great musical phrase can really be enhanced with the right fulcrum to pivot on. This concept has been the mental shift I needed to start breaking the bounds of traditional song structure. I no longer think about whether or not I have the right B section or struggle with whether or not a particular song needs a pre-chorus or a bridge. I now just focus on creating a series of moods and finding interesting ways to take the listener from one to the other with memorable moments. It seems simple, and this definitely won't apply to everyone, but that reframing has really helped me adapt to this new set of tools. It's also become part of my evaluation criteria for new gear, which brings me back to the Digitakt. More than any technical specifications, I wanted a Digitakt in my arsenal because I've heard so many people creating interesting moods and moments with this instrument, and I really wanted to see if I could do the same thing. So that's where I'm at, and this is how I ended up with my first Electron device. The other thing I want to mention is that while I've only had the Digitakt for about 2 weeks now, I did buy a used unit manufactured in 2020. I noticed button 2 was not lighting up correctly and failed the blue LED test, so I reached out to Electron User Care. They've offered to repair everything under warranty. I only have to pay for shipping, which is pretty fantastic for a 2-year-old unit. When you consider that, on top of the new firmware that was just released for a 5-year-old product, I think that makes the Digitakt still a great purchase in 2022. And kudos to Electron for continuing to support their full product line. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. I'm Ryan from Monster Logo Studios. Talk to you soon.